much that I love you. Let me tell you, me once it. Let me tell you how much that I love you. You found me no search. It's like you knew that inside I was hurting. I was so young, said no chance. But you gave me a shot at a romance. I feel like you were like an angel sent to bring me light. Now that I'm with you, me one say that me love you, that me love you, that me love. Hey, me no go one day, wonder. Without my baby, without me love, without me love. And I'll dance and sing and I'll sing, because you make my life complete. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. Shut up, 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 shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. I've never felt this way. So when they ask us, say, oh yeah, we're going all the way. Tell me we happy, love you all the time and things. Sometimes I wonder if the thing could cut us under, to get under. I know, but your love in my life control that. I lay down my life this way, do anything to make you stay. All of the blessings, they come my way, and all the bad things, they turn away. Sometimes life is such a scare. Your love gives me the strength to bear. Oh, shut up, shut up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's funny. Shut up, 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 shut up.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is Soul Connections, and we are going to be doing an interview tonight for you motherfucking impatient ass motherfucking people. I had a hard time. I was trying to get him the respect that he deserved as motherfucking Mr. Untouchable Nicky Barnes himself. So, what I was trying to do was set his picture up, and I was trying to get him a theme song, and I was trying to get his video. Nothing was working, and so I had to just go ahead and go and get it done, so we can go ahead and get started. What I need to do is move this lighting to the next table, because I didn't get a chance to do that because y'all was impatient as hell. I'm gonna move this one. I was trying to unfasten this. So this will be right here. There we go. All right. Goodness gracious, y'all are impatient. Somebody talking about some bunch of fluff. I said, be patient or leave. And I mean it. He already telling me what kind of makeup to wear. I'm not listening. This is Soul Connections, and I am the host, Quatina D. And anybody gonna keep telling me and rushing me and shit. Because I'm trying to make it do what it do, baby. Okay? And period. So we have Mr. Leroy Nicholas Barnes joining us this evening. And we're supposed to have Frank Lucas come in as well. However, baby, let's talk about it. Mr. Barnes told me, and I was watching his documentary earlier because he wanted me to make sure I did research on him so I'll know who he is thoroughly, right? And so what happened was, at the end of his documentary, they stated that he was upset about the movie American Gangster. And he said that he felt like the movie should have been about him. And so I wanted to give him the respect that he deserved, which is why I was trying to set his music up and get his picture up, but nothing was working. It kept trying to make me convert it over to the MP4, and I had done that, and it still wasn't accepting it. So it was a lot going on while I'm sitting in the towel trying to get myself together, okay? And so nothing happened with that. So I felt bad, but he kept telling me he not necessarily wants Frank Lucas to come in today, because he felt like Frank got the clout that he deserved, and he want his time in his spotlight. And as y'all know, sometimes the souls come in and they will say that. And he has been waiting a long time for his opportunity and his shot. So we're going to allow him to come in and do that. So we have Leroy Nicholas Barnes, a.k.a. Mr. Untouchable, a.k.a. BKA Nicky Barnes. Yeah, come on in, have a seat. So as he takes his seat, I can smell some of his cologne. I can't I don't really know what that is, but it does smell good. I was trying to register it in my mind of what cologne that was. And I'm just not for sure. So but he does smell good, and he looks like fairly tall to me because I'm not as tall as people think that I am. So he looks kind of tall to me. So I like to say welcome. Welcome, how are you? And you got big hands. Yes, you got big hands. Yes, you do. And you smell well. And that is Jamela that is running into the bathroom. And so, how are you? All right. So Mr. Barnes has on the infamous gray suit that he usually comes to me standing in. And yes, I did research on you. He is sitting back with his legs crossed like this, very poised, and handsome, if I must say so myself. He's very handsome to me. So I didn't necessarily prepare any questions for you because I kind of wanted it to just roll off of whatever it was that I saw, whatever maybe the audience would ask, and whatever Jamela may have to ask. Okay, so he's speaking about Jamela, and he keeps telling me, which he has said before, that um, if I was around in his physical time, that he finds me attractive enough that I might have been someone that he would have, dealt with at some point. And so gratitude for that because period. Okay. Jamela, can I use your book, please? And I know Jamela had prepared some questions. So we do have Nicky Barnes here, but so are you not gonna let Frank Lucas come through? He said, well, first of all, I like to say, he says, thank you for allowing me to come in. And he says, welcome to his energy. He said, let me tell you something about me. He said, I'm not a greedy man. He said, but I just feel like this is about me. He kind of wants to tell his side of things or his story. Now I'm just getting ready to write your name, and I'm going to write, maybe some things you say or some questions that I may have or what Jamela may present. So that's what's going to happen here. He wants to touch the side of my face, child. Okay. He is very flirtatious, but I got you. I understand it completely. Where I want to start, wherever you want to start. He says, all right. He's giving me his name again, from the top to the bottom. Can we do the ear? You look nice. Down, please. He says, you do look nice. He said he preferred the other shirt that you had on, but that's none of his business. He's talking about growing up, wanting things, needing things. He said, but that's kind of stereotypical about that kind of life and that time. Now he's kind of acting and fidgeting like he's nervous, but I know he can't be nervous because he has been harassing me for this interview. He's also talking about, he keeps saying the dope game. So how old were you when you got into the dope game? Like, because I watched the documentary and it looks like you were an adult when that started to happen. He said he was an adult, but he said he was like 13, 14, 15 years old running around doing things. Um, he says not big transactions or things like that, but he was just a kid running around doing things, trying to make things happen. He said didn't like to be broke, didn't want to be broke, especially in those times, but you know, it is what it is. He's talking about single parent. He's also talking about witnessing things, like he witnessed a lot of things as a youngin, as a teenager, growing up. He witnessed some things, got into some trouble himself, not big trouble, but he got into some things. He's talking about witnessing what looks like, for me, what he's saying to me is witnessing a cop shoot someone point blank and like nothing really happening. He said it was a lot of tragedies that happened around those times. Now he looks nice. He is well shaved. Um, well shaved. He's brought himself back to youth, but he still looks aged, but he looks like himself. I guess that's kind of hard for me to describe because I did not know him in life. But the pictures, like, he doesn't look like an old man. He looks like he would have been like in his 30s or 40s, late 30s, early 40s, I should say. Where's your questions? Because he's asking about that. So I have them. Okay, I'll let you get them out, and then I'll just use the book for the notes as well. No, I did not do the blonde hair for you. That just happened yesterday, but I appreciate it if you thought I did it for you. So on top of seeing things like that, like the police or cops, like, what did that do to you or for your psyche as a young person growing up, or however age you were when you seen that or you witnessed that? Like, what was that for you? He says that's everyday life. He said, well, he has on a watch, and he's like, well, that's just everyday life, back then at those times. For some reason, he keeps referencing Cornbread Earl and Me, that movie with Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know why he keeps referencing that, but he does keep referencing that movie. He said a lot of heartache, a lot of suffering, people getting killed. He said you see things, you know things. He shows me like, it looked like an apartment building and a woman hanging out the window back in the day. Looked like she has rollers in her hair with some sort of scarf on. It's very weird. Like, I don't really know where he grew up at, but I keep seeing what looks like New York to me, or something that would resemble New York, because I see apartment buildings with like New York, Chicago, or something, because that's what it looks like to me. I did do my research, but I do not remember. I try not to do too much research. That is the point of all of this. Okay? Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't really matter, because whatever you give me, I'm going to give to them, and then I write it down. They're going to take note of it. It doesn't really matter. So whatever you say and give to me, but that's what it looks like. Yes, I understand. So I see like the short shorts on little boys playing basketball on the streets and the afros and like I don't even know how to describe what it looks like. I say a Kango hat, but maybe it's not a Kango hat. He's showing me scenery of the block or streets. You know what I'm saying? He said it was just hard time. He's talking about being able to go into buildings and smell food and, you know, he's talking about penny candy and petty dope dealers and things not really being known as far as the drug circuit, although things were happening in the drug circuit at those times. He's giving me like 79, 78, 79, 80, these times right here. Huh?
Especially when you say penny candies.
Penny candies. Okay. Yes. Okay. He says you're kind of his flavor as well. He said Jamila, is it? And he's twisting his ring and his watch. He's got to do in his hands. He said you remind him of someone, like I remind him of someone. We remind him of some women that he knows, but it's almost like you remind him of someone from the block that he knew while growing up, or that kind of thing. He's also talking about being at clubs or spots like that, but not like enjoying himself, not really partying, because he's looking and he's trying to figure out how to make moves and what moves he needs to make to grow into whoever Nicky Barnes was. What made you come to me? I'm gonna have Jamila, and it's Jamela, but I'm gonna have Jamila give some of her questions as well. But what made you come to me? Because you came to me. We were in where's we at, in like Florida or something? Where's we at when he first came? And I kept saying Dominique Barnes, and then Rocka said, "Are you talking about Nicky Barnes?"
I think we were in Jersey.
Jersey, maybe.
Jersey or North Carolina?
Yeah, maybe it's North Carolina. Okay. He said because my name is big in the spirit world, so people have talked about me or whatever, and so he knows. He said like he is the man, I am the man. So I would be the man, the woman of the spirit world. He said he actually caught the Sammy Davis Jr. interview and he was interested. Because I was going to wear this little dress that Toddy had bought me, but he was very specific for me to wear this blouse that I just bought from Lola's Closet on Galbraith in Cincinnati. Let me plug. Because it almost is similar to the shirt or the dashiki. It was colorful, like in green, like this, the dashiki I did when I was with Sammy. So what's one of your questions that you have that you would like to ask?
About how you feel about females in that game at that time.
That's interesting. He said shit, it was a lot. He said it was a lot of them in the game. Well, we watched something earlier where Frank Lucas, he was in his older age and he was doing an interview with some genomes. And those genomes are white people. I don't know if you know that. I don't know. However, it is genomes, and he was saying to a female, like, go in the house, you're a girl, you're not no gangster, go in the house. Oh, my head is hurting right now. Okay. I feel like I have somebody else trying to come in because my head is starting to hurt. No. But so I guess that's why she's asking, like, you know, what's your thought on females being in the game? You said there were a lot. Well, he says there was a lot of them. He says mamas, big mamas, like in the kitchen. Um, he says running numbers out the kitchen and pressing hair at the same time or doing hair at the same time and pedaling at the same time. He said shit was happening that you would not think was happening at that time. He said he necessarily didn't deal with children, like young people dealing with dope, but he said grandmothers, mothers, he said women that you would not think would be doing these things are doing this.
Did he have any connections to, like, was he dealing with anybody that wasn't talked about business wise?
He said, yeah. He said small time smugglers. That's the way he said it, smugglers. And then he says petty thieves. He said like Frank, who then became something. Um, he said again like kitchen mothers. Then he shows me a kind of a heavyset, thick woman that's kind of my complexion. But she looks like a stud, like a lesbian. Um, he said then he grew and he minimized certain people that he dealt with. Um, like when he started dealing with the Italians, he says, and the Jews. So you mean Jews? Jews like he said, yes, Jews. He said they are very undercover with their shit, but they do peddle. They do things. They do work. He said, and so his league changed and who he dealt with. Go ahead, wait. He's saying that some of the dope money that came through his hand belonged to someone, he said, who was small time and then became big time and owns high-rise buildings in New York now. Listen, this thing got real fucking deep because y'all not hearing what he's saying, but I'm trying to tell you what he's saying. But let me tell you, because I want to ask, and let me make sure. He's telling me this. He said that his products not only touched New York, they touched Jersey all the way to California and wherever else was needed. He's saying words like Nicaragua, Nicaragua. I don't know how to say that. Nicaragua. I don't know. It sounds right in my mind when he says it, but then I can't say it back. He finds that funny. I'm really trying. I'm not even being funny. I swear I'm really trying to say it. Mm-hmm. Listen. Allegedly, all of this is, I have to say, is allegedly. Okay. So allegedly, I can't even say it, but I'm gonna say it because he says allegedly, Trump's money.
Oh my gosh, I knew you was going to say it.
Trump's money ain't all from buildings. Okay? So I didn't want to say it, but listen, allegedly. Okay?
When you said the buildings, the high rise, because at that time that was him as a younger man and his father, they were dealing with doing things like that.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even want to say that shit. But okay. Well, he keeps saying that. And I'm glad you said it like that because he's telling me it's not just baby Trump, it's the father too, like the family were involved in things like that. Allegedly.
They did a lot of real estate and a lot of other stuff, underhand stuff.
Because he's also saying he provided for industry parties or like the industry and things like that.
That is also true because they threw parties for a lot of celebrities.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, I didn't even know that. See, that's why I didn't want to do no research for real. But he wanted me to. That's why I only watched the video that I watched.
I mean, like, it's like the only reason how I know a little bit is only because I live in, I come from New York.
Yeah. Hear more.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have no idea. But I can't, I'm floored on that shit. Okay. Now, I know you had some more questions, so go ahead with another question.
Go ahead with your question, Mom.
He wants your question then.
Would you have changed anything differently that you have done?
I think that's a very good question. He said no, because he lived the life that he wanted to live.
Period.
He said, wait, because he's sitting like this, y'all. He's sitting like this. He said, and Frank is a bunch of bullshit when he said that earlier in the video that you watched. He said Frank was a bunch of bullshit. He says, I smell good. He said, I smell good. He said, listen. He said, you get one life and one life only, and you live it the way you want to live it. He said toward the end of his life, things for him had changed. But he always was all right with the life that he lived. He says, okay, I understand that part. He said now he may regret doing some acts, okay, where he could have shown favor to people. It did not have to end in a casualty, but it did. And so he said, for that, I regret some of that because, you have to answer for those things inside of the spirit.
So would that be as far as selling your product and knowing how it affected the community that you lived in?
That's a good question. He said that's kind of a catch-22 for him, because he said he was hoping we didn't even ask that question, first of all. Second of all, he says that he's talking about like allegedly direct murders. He for some people, some younger people, some people he had to make examples out of. So other people didn't try to overstep where they should not overstep. He also says if my time of right now was in his time of right now and we were buddies, a lot of the people that have come up against me, he would have took care of for me. And he says, but as far as that, he knows he should feel some type of way about it. And yes, there's some remorse. However, he says he kind of chalks it up to the game. Okay. Allegedly. Okay. Well, I understand that too. He says he talked to a lot of people in his life. He talked to mothers, and he wasn't just peddling dope to these people. He said he tried to make a difference in some people's lives. And he said he did have conversations about, look here, Shelly, this ain't good for you. You know what I mean? Like, what you doing? But as he grew inside of who he was, he said he saw that people kind of want to be the people that they want to be, you know? And so somebody gonna make that money. I understand, but you know, let me tell you something. The 80s brought, I understand that too. He said he didn't bring or fly at first in the beginning. He didn't bring the dope in the beginning. He keeps showing me allegedly Ronald Reagan. And so I already know that just by who I am, I know that. But he keeps saying, you know, that's where this shit started at. And so those things is what made him have to become the person that he was. Because they made sure not to give our people a leg up. And this is how they discover how to give a leg up. Go ahead.
How does your kids feel? How, you know, how they feel about the situation? How did they feel about the situation?
Okay. He keeps acknowledging, I don't know if he had a sister, but he keeps saying sister like he had a sister. So I don't know if he had like one or two sisters, but he keeps saying sister. And I feel like some of his family was also affected by drugs and murders and things like that. But to answer that question, go ahead, please, about the children. How did his children, how were they affected by his lifestyle? Okay. He said, well, first, and he kind of sits up, he sits back, and he said, let's tread lightly when it comes to that. Okay, respect. He says because his children, I guess, are still living, and he has grandchildren and great grandchildren. He keeps saying Louisiana. I don't know why, but I'm going to write that down. So, he said they were affected in many ways because in many ways their lives changed. He said not once, not twice, several times in their expansion of their experience of life. Right. He says because in their growing up, like, okay, I need to understand. You have your phone? Because he keeps showing me 2 children, and he keeps saying 5. So I want to validate that, please.
They don't really say anything. Like, I want to know how much of it was more a lie than it was the truth.
He's going into it, but I want to validate that. I don't know if he has 5 children and 2 girls or what that is, because I want to validate what he's saying. Okay, I just go to it.
Okay. And I know they like to lie on people, you know. They like the more lies they put on it to, you know. They say more how much more fucked up shit you do than good stuff you do.
Yeah. I almost feel like he has a son, but I feel like his son has passed away or something. He has 2, Nicole Barnes and Ebony Barnes, but he keeps showing me like other children. Like I feel like there's 3 other children that is connected here. Okay. This says as of July 20th, 2019, the daughters now had children of their own. Barnes admired their attentiveness and loving parenting style. So now I'm going to go to the Wikipedia because I really want to know. Oh, you have a birthday coming up. Okay. Mine is October 24th. His is October 15th. Mm. Yes, he is. We just talked about balancing your scales. We'll talk about this too, about being a federal informant, because they love to say that. He said that actually is what led to his death, but there's a lot to that. So, okay. But it says biologically he has 2 daughters, but he keeps showing me like 5 children because he says 2 and 5, and so I circled the 5, and then he had me underline 2. Okay. Um, but he keeps making me feel like there is like a son for him and then like 3 other children or something, and the son is in part of that, but I feel like one of those children has passed away or something. So I don't know if he like maybe had someone that he like was dealing with that had children, or what that is, but he keeps saying that. So let's go ahead and go back to how this affected them though, because he was saying to me that like they never went without, they always had, because he had at that time. He says he dealt with a lot of women, but he doesn't like to call himself like a philanderer, like he wasn't just like shitting on women or dogging women out. But I got a question, because I mean, okay. He says he dealt with a lot of women, and some of the women had children, but he keeps saying like Janice from Goodfellas. Now, if you've never seen Goodfellas, Ray Liotta plays a crime boss, if you will, and he was married, and they had 2 children, but he was dealing with a chick named Janice. Now, Janice didn't necessarily have children, but he keeps telling me like the woman he's talking about would have been his Janice when he was dealing with. But I feel like she had either another child or his child, or she had other children. Um, mm. He says he was important to some other children besides his children. He's also talking about like trying to keep his children or in like the best schools and in the good school systems, and but he's also saying like things were difficult for them, because I feel like even in that they had a hard time dealing with white children, just being in that area or something with white children, and um his name floating about and people kind of knowing who he was. But he is also like saying that he allegedly, and again I have to say that this is all allegedly, that allegedly he also tried to keep things minimized for that reason. Like he did not really want to expose his children um to it. He wanted them to have some sort of normalcy. He says he was split, like he was this person in the home, but he was also this person outside of the home. He's also talking about having dinners with like crime bosses, and they come over, or you going over their house and they're being invited to things, and it's not like you can turn some of these things down, like, hey, for Christmas we're doing this, bring your family over, like that's the way he's showing it to me. And so like I feel like they didn't know differences inside of that or something. But he's also talking about his wife being like a strong woman, and that's what he liked about her, and that's what he wanted in her. Like she wasn't just no cookie bacon ass wife. She understood and she understood money. He also makes me feel like she'll cut a bitch if she needs to. You know what I mean? Like, don't play with her. Even if you understood that maybe he was dealing with somebody, and you know what I mean? she was not to be disrespected, and he would not allow you to disrespect her either, is the way he's bringing it to me. He says, Frank keep trying to get in here, but it ain't really his time. Now, when Mr. Barnes first came to me, he came to me with Frank and another gentleman, which all made sense, because then when I went and did the research, I knew it was one of the like Italian men that he was in business with, and Frank Lucas. Because I had no idea. That shit was all on the live too, I think. I think we was on the live at that time. Yeah, we was. He said yes, we was. You got another question? He says, let me see the paper.
He answered the thing about women people in the game. And the other question was already.
So it basically, did you feel you were respected in the game? So you asking if he felt like he had respect, or if that was just like what it was at the time. Mm-hmm. Okay. He said, well, that's a good question. He said, because it depends on who he was dealing with. He says the Italians respects nothing. He says not when it comes to the black people in the game or black community. Like, they have respect amongst each other because there's a code there. They respect the money, but they don't necessarily respect them. And so he says he had to take some respect. He also says he had to do some things that later on led to, he keeps saying his demise, so I'm gonna say it that way, okay? Because even earlier when you said that to me, and they keep saying he died from cancer or whatever, and it wasn't reported to like 6 years later, 9 years later, whatever it was. Like, he kept showing me mafia men in black jackets. I do believe they never stopped looking for him. This is the thing. He keeps saying that he was out the game, but he wasn't. Because he's basically saying you're never really out until you're out. Even being in the witness protection, because I feel like he still had to do certain things for allegedly the police department. Okay. You know? So does that go into you being a federal, like, informant? Well, I don't know if there's a difference in that, but I'll say it the way you said it. He said he's never been a snitch, but he had to turn state's evidence. Okay? So I don't know if it's a difference inside of that, because it all sounds like snitch to me. With all due respect, I don't know how to put that any other way. I'm not disrespecting you. I understand. He says this is his life and he's not playing about it. And I understand that. But I'm being very serious, because if you turn state evidence, he said he did not want to, he was forced. It's not like he was just a snitch. He wasn't just going to them, like, hey, this is what's going on. They were threatening his family, his children, he says. He says he likes that comment. Witness protection is a false sense of protection. Absolutely. He said, because you're never, ever protected, because you're now owned by the police. I'm going to say what he said, and with all due respect, he said he has never been a fag. He does not lay with men. He says so certain things you just can't make him do, but this was something that he had no choice in, and he had to do what he had to do to protect his children. Like, why did you say that though? You know what I mean? Like, why did you put it inside of that point? Because I don't understand why you said it that way. And I'm not offended at all because, both. I don't care. But I'm just saying. He says because people reference homosexual men with being soft, and there's nothing soft about him. He had to do what he had to do. Even he's showing me an interview when he got older and out of the game. He's like, even these things, like, was set up and he had to do. And he says because they controlled his money after a while.
But they have more money than the police. So how did that really work out? Because I know that I don't know.
He kind of laughed and he said, now you understand what I'm saying. They controlled his money. He said he was never a free man. Oh, he said from the time he stepped out of prison, he was never a free man.
Okay.
And he said never. He said he had a false sense of he was a free man, a false sense of being a crime boss. He said they only let you play ball until they don't. Yes, he said one misstep and it is what it is. He said he knew the game, he respected it. He also says that he understood that he was not completely Mr. Untouchable, although he thought he was. So inside of being Mr. Untouchable and the respect, so did you get the respect from the black community? Because you did consider yourself as Mr. Untouchable. So like, where does that come from? Where does that reference come from? Okay. He said, because he was Mr. Untouchable to a certain extent. And he sat up again and he slid back again. He said, let me tell you something. He said he understood that he wasn't always a free man, but he also understood he didn't give a fuck. And he had a reputation. And he says basically he could say what he want to say now because they can't do shit to him. Because he can't be arrested, So he says, and to tell Jamela that he did not die when they said he did. Okay. However, he says that he has done some things when it comes to taking lives. He has taken plenty of genome lives, and some of them wore badges. And he said he put a hit. If they put a hit, he'd put a hit. And that's kind of what took him down because they felt like he was a big mouth nigga.
He wasn't scared. And they wanted him to be scared.
Okay, girl, this is getting deep. Allegedly. When you got a name like he got a name and you have people like Bumpy, who we learned about, Bumpy Johnson and Frank Lucas, he said sometimes there are monkey wrenches that are being thrown in the game. And so sometimes stand-up people who think they stand-up people, such as Frank Lucas, he says, allegedly put bugs in people's ear, you know, to get them. Yeah. Okay. So he had to deal with the disrespect from people that he also did business with, like people like him, like that he thought were he said there were no true friends in the game. He said, he is fucking me up. Stop it. Wait a minute. Cause see, I watched the shit about Frank Lucas today, and he said that Bumpy Johnson was a good man, a stand-up man. Yo, allegedly, baby, allegedly. He said, reason why Frank Lucas, he don't want him here is he said, because that's a dirty motherfucker. Okay. He said, yeah, Bumpy died. He said, but did he just die? He said, because didn't he take over the game after that?
Oh, you are absolutely right.
He said he's a dirty motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And he did whatever he needed to do to get on top. He said, so if that meant stabbing your friends in the back, he said, yeah, he was out here getting turkeys. He said, but where was the real concern and the real work being done? He said people looked at him as Nicky Barnes as a monster. He said, but the real monsters had a smile on their face, doing shit for the community. You are fucking me up. I just want you to know that. He said it fucked me up too, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. He said that's the way the game goes. He said, and I don't want to speak too much on this because you won't allow him to come in and defend himself, and maybe we'll give him another time or something. I don't know. But he is saying that when you doing the work that Frank was doing and you getting tidbits, it can sometimes leave a sour taste in your mouth, especially when you're loyal. And you sometimes feel like you're being made to be a fool or things like that, allegedly. Well, he shows me like a procession or a funeral service for Mr. Bumpy Johnson, and like he was well taken care of inside of that. But I feel like Mr. Johnson died from some sort of something with the heart chest. Can we Google that? Because I feel like he was like given something. Is that something that like kind of went on? Like, because you keep saying that it is what it is, that was part of the game. But is that the way the shit really happened? He said, you think that motherfucker didn't put a hit on me? He said, but that's the way it goes. They just could never do what it was because he was Mr. fucking Untouchable. He said, so they had to start to establish like the made man system inside of their own system as a Melanin community or Black community.
Congestive heart failure.
Congestive heart failure. Yeah, okay. Bumpy Johnson. She says, Google says he died from congestive heart failure, which is what he's basically saying. Basically that he was given something that caused a heart attack or whatnot. Because in the documentary that we watched today, where Frank Lucas allegedly was saying, he said this, so it's not allegedly, okay? I watched the documentary. But he said that after Bumpy Johnson died, his mentor, he went and collected all of the millions of dollars that was owed to him and took over the game. He said, so he feels like, Mr. Barnes feels like that he himself was the original, American gangster, and Frank Lucas was, someone he did business with. There was, he came up, he keeps calling him a petty peddler, or peddler, or petty thief, which he already acknowledged that himself, Mr. Lucas did. Um, he says, I'm not being no disrespectful way to him. He said, but it is what it is. Now he keeps trying to show me his arm inside of this suit, like he keeps doing like this, but it's almost like he wants me to see like his arm. I don't know if it's like muscle there because it almost look muscular, like he's flirting. Mm. He said it's not like he is. He is. Mm. He said, shit. Me and Frank dealt with some of the same women. He said that's just the way it went at that time. He tells me that he had all kinds of women, from project women, um, Italian women. He said because women would just fall at your feet, wanting to, because of who he was. He said, but it was always business was more important to him. Mm-hmm. He keeps showing me, I don't know if she's Italian or Hispanic, but he keeps showing me this particular female, and then he keeps like giving her a pregnant belly. I really think he had a son by someone. Um, he keeps telling me that there allegedly are other children, but he is respectful to his wife and their children. So I'm just gonna say that.
That was one of the questions I wanted to ask about because they made it seem like he kind of didn't care too much for her after the situation when they both got put to jail.
Is that a true statement? He said that's kind of difficult to say. He said because it's not that he didn't care for her, because he still respected her as who she was to him, but he said she changed in a way. He said, and I'm not mad about it because he took her through a lot. Now he smiles and he said, not many people can handle old Nicky.
And that's a man. He being a man about this, even to admit to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like he keeps showing me like I feel like he really had feelings for. I feel like this lady's like Hispanic or Italian and stuff, but she has dark hair. Um, oh, my head is hurting so bad. My head is hurting. Something either happened to his head or somebody's head because they trying to come in here. Um, how did Frank Lucas die? Because my head is pounding. But he keeps showing me like needles, like somebody was shooting up, like this woman either had a drug thing and he really cared for her. He did not want her on the drugs. And I feel like she got pregnant or something. That's the way he keeps showing it to me. And it's like slumming to deal with her, but he liked it. He liked her or something. I don't know.
How did Frank Lucas die?
Yeah.
That's what you said?
Yeah.
He said he died in 2019 due to a car accident which broke his legs. He died at 88. They don't really say.
Which is why he was in the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. They don't like.
I feel like something happened to his head. Because my head is pounding. I keep feeling like it's not Nicky. It's Frank.
It says natural causes. I don't know, but I don't feel like it's natural causes either.
I'm wondering if it's this lady too, because he keeps, listen, I got to be honest about what I'm seeing here. Because he keeps showing me this lady. And she looks Hispanic, like a beautiful Hispanic chick. And I'm going to be honest the way he keeps showing it to me. I feel like, people would bring him females. You understand what I'm saying? You thinking they injected his head, and that's probably it, because I'm telling you, you say the 19-year-old was shot he was dealing with. Oh, could be. Okay, maybe that's what that is, because I'm telling you, my head is pounding, and he keeps showing me. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. Wait, don't even say it, because I'm gonna tell you what I keep seeing. I keep seeing this chick, like, I don't know if in the beginning she was like a cowgirl or something, and he started liking her because she's fucking beautiful. You hear what I'm saying? And she looks Hispanic to me, or Italian or something. And I feel like they would bring girls to them, you know what I mean, like escorts or something. And I feel like he had a liking to her. And so he started dealing with her. And I keep seeing him like go to her place and leave money on the table for her. But I feel like she was like a junkie or something, or she started using, and then I see her pregnant. And then I don't know if she didn't have that baby or if she had that baby. I'm not sure. But I keep hearing her upset that he won't be with her, and she's threatening to tell things. And then I see a pillow go over her face and a gun go to the pillow. That is what I keep seeing, and I do not know, but I'm going to fucking say that because that's the way I see it. He keeps saying that I would not be seeing it incorrectly. He closed his eyes and he said he kind of hates that. He feels bad about that. Like that's something that he didn't really want to talk about. But I also keep hearing like Gloria, and I hear Bernadette. Like I feel like he has like different women or something. Like I need to say that. He says he was not to be fucked with. And don't threaten him ever, he says. I keep hearing the name Gloria. And it's a song. There was an old song, Gloria. That I keep hearing that. I don't know how that connects, but I have to say that, okay? He said he dealt with that kind of shit a lot. He said he was not in the game for 1 or 2 years. He said he was in that for a good while. From he keeps showing me the movie Blow with Johnny Depp, and he keeps saying like that is like the lifestyle that they lived, like going places, doing things, flying here, flying there. And he shows me Goodfellas again. He's showing me like bitches taking dope through the airports and all kind of shit. Like they was doing things. Ooh. He got jokes. He said them lashes got stuck together, huh? Because I almost couldn't open my eyes up. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't do that. Because they stuck a little bit. It's okay. He's talking about back then they just put on a little mascara, and he's talking about that. that eyeshadow. He didn't really care for it, so he didn't know what my makeup was gonna look like and all kind of stuff. Listen, whatever. I respect it. And he's telling me that the suit, I keep saying it's a gray suit. He said it's not a gray suit. It's like powdered or powdered blue or like something like that. He keeps saying. He said only the best. Let me listen. Well, okay, let's go. Let's get on into it a little bit deeper because he's talking about some of these big crime bosses are just as gay as they come. And they do a lot of shit that's why he said he put it that way. He says because a lot of shit that they do, he said, and he called them white boys. Um, he keeps saying Italians. He keeps saying it that way. Um, he said they play in that way, and he don't necessarily get down like that. Um, he did sell drugs in the early 70s and in the late 70s, and he did a lot of shit until he passed. He said, you must not be listening. The game doesn't stop. He said he made hand over fist money, but it's probably not like big to us, but now, it would be big to me. I don't give a fuck. But he said he made a lot of fucking money, a lot of money. He's giving me understanding so I'll understand what kind of moves he was making, what kind of things they were doing. He's talking about his money being so long and so much that like his money was still moving upon the streets even in the 90s, the late 90s. Not that it was his money, but it was his money is what he's saying. Like they took his money and they put his money back on the street, so his money was still moving in the streets even then. That's how much money he made, and that's how many moves he had made. He's showing me like flying to somebody's, like flying out of the country and having meetings at a house on, like, it looks like a rooftop or some sort of deck outside, sitting with not just crime bosses, like there were actual cops at these meetings too, and what they were going to do. And he said, y'all don't understand. They was flying like detectives and cops' families out to like Hawaii, giving them vacation so they'll shut the fuck up. Like they were doing real shit. He's talking about rooftop dinners and things like that. He said, listen, he said, hey, that little boy keep running around here.
I see.
Because I seen him. Issue just walked up here and then he took off. He said, hey, that little boy keep running around here. You see him, Mel? Mel said, I see him.
I seen the shadow with that one. Play with your car, Issue. It's okay.
He said, that's a big spirit. He said, bigger than me. He said, that's big time. He said that made him nervous for a second. That made you nervous. That is issue. Yeah. Because he came up here, I thought it was for him at first. And he took off. I said, oh, he said, hey, that little boy keep running through here. Mm-hmm. Yo, he kind of reckless though. He's talking about trap queens. He keeps saying that he respect them, but he basically said, allegedly, he just said this. Allegedly, he said he respect them because they get their money. He said, but in his day, he would have had them hoeing. Girl, let me put on some lip gloss. Understood. He said what he's saying is, like, yeah, they could have peddled a little dope, but they wasn't doing shit like that then, right? Because he said women didn't get the respect in the game. They barely would give it to them, so they definitely was not getting it. Although they was making some money, like they was not allowing them to do that, like talking in meetings and shit. He said that's a no. He said he respect the game though. He wouldn't shake my hand. He's kind of sitting up like he's almost ready. Were we done? Because I was enjoying the conversation. I want to get a couple more things out if that's possible. Gratitude. Now he tells me that there was a real illness in his body. So yes, he really was sick, but he didn't just die. He was killed. I feel like, and what he keeps showing me is, and allegedly, there is a dirty detective that was paid for his location for the hit that had already been established and paid for long time ago before he passed, that had to be fulfilled and was going to be fulfilled regardless as to what. Which is connected to the young female he keeps showing me. What he said was he should have never been dealing with her because she was connected, or she knew people, or who like her family was or something, and like he was never supposed to be dealing with her ever. That was like a no, you know. And whatever this is, it came back to haunt him, is what he keeps saying. He said, but this has nothing to do with like the elite in the music industry, no shit like that. He said this is real. He said this is men business, street business, men business. But you had done interviews before. You had been out there. Like I seen the interview that you did in your older age, you know. Okay. He said he was still quote unquote being protected because he was still doing some of the things that they wanted him to do, and he still was untouchable until he wasn't. So basically, I feel like there was a detective. They gave up the location. Someone paid him a visit. He did not die at that moment. He was not shot, nothing like that. They did something to his medication that he was on. He says it put him to sleep. They needed it to be proven that he was not untouchable. So she wasn't like in nobody's family. He took her from somebody that was fucking with her. Somebody else liked her. And okay, I understand that fact. I understand that point. Okay. So allegedly, he, the shit was better all the way around. So, he keeps saying the name Tony. I don't know who Tony is, but he keeps repeating that name, so I'm going to say that. He says he's going to get on out of here. He says he respects it. He respects my game, my work, what I do. He tells me that I need to get my physical body, my vessel together, because he says they have a great plan for me. But he says that they keep trying to send illnesses to me, which is why I keep feeling the burning in my chest from time to time. He says, Miss Queen, you don't keep yourself protected enough. You got to be like me, untouchable. He's basically telling me that he's going to send his spiritual goons to make sure that I'm covered and protected, and I need to make sure that I'm protected. He also says that I have a good one. Stop, don't think, or don't ever think that that she's not here for me, because she's here for me. He said he read your heart space when you was in the bathroom. So I don't know what you was in there doing, motherfucker, but he said he read your heart space when you was in the bathroom. He said you think a lot. Sometimes too much. He said he's been with us all day, waiting his turn. So I appreciate you highly, highly, highly. Is there anything that you would like to say? He said he sends love out to his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He says this is real, it's factual. He said he would have never asked to come to make a mockery of his family or himself. He wants everyone to know he is the real and original American gangster. He said he never had to kill anybody to get on top. He only took care of business where business needs to be taken care of. He got on top because he got on top. He seems fairly tall to me. And physically, fit or nice, and, attractive in some way as well, So I show gratitude. You smell nice. And I appreciate you for coming in. He has quite a few people over here. Some of them are peeking around this wall, doing that. And I show gratitude. Absolutely. I know it's going to feel funny, but he wants to shake your hand, Jamala. I know. Yes. Gratitude. He has big hands. He says he appreciates this moment. And back to you. He said, Frank, this motherfucker out here, he said, tell him to get his own spot. So he's saying it like why would he be afraid? I don't know. He has no reason to be afraid. But I love y'all and gratitude for your patience with me. I enjoyed it. My head is still hurting. So I still feel like I'm missing something. There was a lot that was being said that I hope that I translated good, and I hope y'all enjoyed the interview. So you said, what can you do? Provide extra protection. Child, keep me lifted in a high vibration and send your spiritual goons to cover and protect me as well. I'm going to keep asking my ancestors and deity to cover and protect me as well. And so I send love to you all. I appreciate you. That ain't how you reschedule with me, Caribbean. You schedule with me, you call me, you text me, and that's how to reschedule with me. Never do it again on my fucking live. This ain't the place. Have a good fucking night. Gratitude.